Hey everybody, welcome back to Everyday Barbecue. My name is Mike and I've got my friend Chef Karl back with us today.
Hey.
And he's going to show us how to properly carve a chicken. We're going to be doing a couple of cooked chickens, a couple raw chickens, although I think it's much the same, but it's easier to see on a raw chicken.
Right.
So we want to show you as much detail on that as we can. This way you can cut that perfect chicken at home. And I know we always say if it's not perfect, it's okay, but
that's right.
We'll give you the information and you do what you got to do. We're going to get started right now.
All right, this is two chickens. They both cost $5. This one is great for if you're one or two people, but if you want to have more meals, you go to get the bigger chicken. The ratio of meat to bone is the same in both chickens, the same as in a turkey. So if you get a 10-pound turkey, you might have 50% bones. And a 25-pound turkey, you're going to have 15% bones and the rest is meat. So you're better off if you can use it using the heavier bird. So this is a cooked chicken. It's warm, but I'm going to show you, I'm not going to even use the knife on this to start with. We're going to pull this apart, and that's the backbone. And if you just bend it,
I'm going to move this out of the way so folks can see. There we go.
The hip bone pops out. Can you see that?
Okay, got it.
So that's where you just want to cut. This chicken's so tender though. And then the leg and thigh, it just
You just got to find that spot right in between the leg and thigh.
Find that spot. Now this chicken's very, very tender. See the bone again? You can almost just twist it right off.
And these are rotisserie chickens,
right.
So if you're doing a beer can chicken, it's going to be sort of the same, maybe not quite as tender.
Yeah, right. It won't be falling apart like this. But on all this stuff here, you put in say for stock. Now, right here is what they call the keel bone. And I'm just going to split it, and it should one side and the other side. But the reason why it's called a keel bone is because it looks like the keel of a ship. See how that shape is? You can really just, on a rotisserie chicken, pull it apart with your hands. Now this chicken is totally boneless. You can slice it this way if you want sandwiches. You can dice it for like a la king or quesadillas or something, but there's no bones left in it. Oh, this is the other thing I wanted to show you, Mike. On the backbone of the chicken, see this oval piece of meat? Push that out with your thumb.
Let's show it to the folks here too. So right here, there's a bone right along here, and this. Oh, look at that.
That's the oyster. That's like a tenderloin. That's a muscle that's never used. And there's two, but the other one fell out as we were opening it up.
Okay, gotcha.
But you had that on the turkey also.
And this we'll put aside for stock, right?
Right, keep that for stock. And then all this here, all the bones, you make soup. So you're going to get like 5 or 6 meals out of this. And as I said, with the smaller chicken, now this is cooler. You go right down the back. And we're going to just split it.
Oh, look at that. You sliced right down the center of the backbone.
Right down the center of the backbone. You don't have to take the backbone out. And again, there's that keel bone. You want to see if you can get it out. And actually this one came out better. You can see the whole keel. Like on a ship.
Yeah, this one's a little less tender than this one. This one here was really just falling apart. Yeah.
Falling apart because it was nice and hot.
So here we go. So, and then this is going to be a piece for stock again.
Stock again.
All right.
Now you'll say you want to separate this. All you do is lift up the leg, and it kind of tells you right there. So you take a knife, and it's just going to tell you right here, cut me. Now you got a leg and thigh. Now go like that. You see where in there? Cut me.
So you can see you're just basically separating bone joints. So once you separate those bone joints, now you've got the ability to go ahead, peel the meat, save those bones for stock. We've got a little container here, which we're going to be using this to make stock with.
Yep, beautiful.
And I mean, I don't know how you guys are, but especially, and so I just did a video in 60 below 0 wind chills.
Wow.
And I would have been ready for some soup when I came in.
Right.
So I love doing broth and stock and that stuff at home all the time. This would be a very flavorful way to do it, and you know, you're going to get the health benefits of using the bones for the stock.
If we're cutting up a chicken for the family also, a lot of people take the wing off. You know, who wants to get just the wing? So if you cut through, you're going to get a nice breast portion, and this person gets a nice portion out of one. So you have equal portions, especially if you're doing catering and stuff. You don't want somebody a bunch of legs and wings sitting around.
So you've got, basically you cut the breast in half. So
Right.
you've got on one side here, you've got the wing and the breast together,
Right.
and then you've got the other portion of the breast there.
And there's plenty of food. I mean, this is gonna weigh 6-8 ounces easily. You can feed 2 people sandwiches out of this. So now I guess I can kind of go and show you a cooked raw chicken.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and clean this up, and none of this food's going to go to waste. We're going to be eating this. Carl's going to be taking some home. We're going to make stock out of the bones. So the next step for us is to just clean this up, and then we're going to show them how to do some raw chickens.
Raw chickens, absolutely.
So we'll be right back. Okay, so now we've got a couple of raw chickens. So this is going to be a little bit more of an education for anybody who's going to carve, because it's a little bit easier to see what you're doing with a raw chicken.
Right. And a lot of times, again for stock, I'll cut the rear end off.
Okay.
And then the excess fat. Now there's no neck on these chickens. So the next thing I'm going to do is get a good base and try to hold these chickens this way with their legs. A little hard times. And this is the backbone here. Now a lot of people will go down both sides of the backbone, but I try to take the knife, go right down the middle of the backbone.
So we're splitting the backbone here.
Right.
We're not cutting the backbone out. We're just going straight down.
Right here is that keel bone we talked about.
Okay.
On the cooked chicken. So we want to hit it with a knife. You can see, you can actually just about cut it with your hands.
Oh, look at that. Perfect half a chicken right there.
Nice half chicken. Now you say, well, where do I separate the leg from thigh? You see how that folds? Go right where that fold is. And
there we go. Get to the bone. There you go.
Now, can you see this strip of fat here?
So right here.
That's where we're going to put our knife to separate. Just in front of it. Look at that.
Perfect.
You don't have to fight with the bone. Same thing here. You want to see, you see where that, right here?
Yep.
So we're going to take the knife, boom, under the skin below, and now you got your wings for your hot wings.
Now I see people, when you do wings, this is a good subject. I see some people when they do wings, they cut the tips off, and some don't. How do you do it?
I cut the tip off. Here's your drumette.
So that's basically what you're making wings out of right there.
Right, and I'll cut this off and take the tip off, and I'll use it right there. That's when you order wings at the restaurant. This is what they give you, one of each, or a couple of each.
Gotcha.
And then the tip, stock.
For stock, got it. We've got a little thing here that we've been putting all the stock parts in, so that's where that's going to go. None of this is going to go to waste.
So, again, you see where the separation is?
Yep.
Again. Beautiful.
So, wiggling it just to see where the resistance is,
right.
And that's how you know where to put your knife.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
It's just like here, you know, when you got arthritis like I do, you got to put that Bengay on that joint. We're not putting Bengay, we're going to put barbecue sauce on these. And then the same thing. You see where that joint is right in here? Mm-hmm. That's where we're putting the knife.
Very nice. Clean cut.
Clean cut. And you got this here. If you want to leave this, the breast, back, little bit of backbone on, you can. Otherwise, just cut it out. You use it for stock. Now you can put this in the oven or on the grill. You have a nice chicken, and you can even, it's almost got a, if you want to stuff it.
Very nice.
Because that's where this is your tenderloin. See how you go to all those places, fast food places, that's your tender.
So do you ever remove that separately?
I do. When I'm, if I buy, sometimes I buy boneless skinless chicken breasts.
Okay.
So I'll take that off. So you got the tenderloin. And then I'll take this other part off, the rest of the breast. I just follow the breastbone.
Okay.
Now, when if it's too thick of a breast, I'll cut it like this to make this flat.
A little bit flatter. Okay.
So it cooks even.
Got it.
And then of course I cook this. You can either save these and make hors d'oeuvres out of them, or soup, or you can make it a mock tenderloin by
just cutting it in half.
Cutting it in half and splitting it in a little bit.
There you go. Perfect for chicken tenders or you know, anything the kids like to eat primarily.
And you don't have to have all tenderloins. You can make your own tenderloins. And like I said, you can even just keep making tenderloins out of this.
Right out of the breast, yeah.
All right, we got 10 tenderloins out of one chicken, out of one breast. And that's really, you know, then you cook it however you want. You cook on a rack, cook on your barrel cooker, on your flat top grill you have outside. I know you're talented with all kinds of different barbecue stuff. Am I sucking up?
The only things I've ever really learned about cutting or carving or chopping or slicing has been from you.
And safety first, like as we said in the other video. We'll keep your fingers back, make sure your knife is sharp, and if you're uncomfortable with it, buy it cut up. I mean, you can buy half chickens, you can buy them cut up in quarters, you can buy legs and thighs, just the boneless breasts. Whatever you're comfortable. I mean, you should not be afraid to cook. You're not, but some people are.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, I think a lot of people get intimidated by it, and that's kind of why I wanted to do this, was just to show people that cutting up a chicken isn't that hard. I mean, pretty much all we've done is follow the joints.
Yep.
So you've got the chicken, you move the leg, you kind of see where the resistance is, that's where the knife goes. If you follow the joint, you're going to be in good shape. So great little tip here with these, I mean, making extra tenderloins. I mean, this would be a great way to make chicken tenders at home. I know my kids are big on that, like popcorn chicken, chicken tenders. And, you know, you don't have to waste any of this. We've got a whole thing here with scraps from the raw chicken and the cooked chicken, and we're going to be doing a stock out of this. So,
yeah, delicious.
Any other tips that you can give anyone as far as like eliminating waste or using something that's...
If you're cooking on your own grill, the hardest thing to do is you want the breast cooked to 155, 160, and when you're done, it's going to keep raising the temperature. And getting the thigh cooked. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just take the tip of the knife and open up the thigh so that he can get in there.
Okay.
And you can still roast the whole chicken. And
so there's a technique for not having to overcook some parts of the chicken, but getting the whole thing done at the same time.
See, now he can get in there. Otherwise, especially when they tie the feet and they, oh, I can't get in there.
And you don't lose any juiciness or tenderness or anything like that? Okay. All right. That's a great...
Other than that, make sure the chicken is nice and whitish yellow, because that's a good fresh chicken. And if you see the bones, which if they're nice and clean and white and pink like, that's never been frozen. If you have you see black bones on the chicken, it's been frozen for a while. And if that keel bone is black all the way across that we showed earlier, the more black on the keel bone, the older the chicken, which means you might start getting a tough chicken.
Okay. So that's a huge tip. So when you're out there shopping for these, making sure that the bones are pink, the skin's yellow, that's how you know you've got a fresh chicken.
Right.
I don't know. I think we did a pretty good job. I mean, anything else you can think of that you want to share?
Just don't be chicken. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I haven't been drinking.
Like me.
I haven't been drinking or anything yet.
Well, that's great. I am happy. I'm happy
shake
we did
hands
this.
with the rubber glove hands.
Thank you for coming out. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you for having me.
You guys go ahead and leave me some comments on this video. Please like, consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already an existing subscriber. If there's anything you'd like to add or comment on or anything about anything we did or something that you'd like to see, Karl has a lot of experience as a chef, over 50 years. You're a member of, what was it you were telling me you're a member?
The Research Chefs of America, RCA, and these are the people that formulate products like your hot sauces, your spices, your marinades for the chicken, frozen pizzas. I was with a company, we can make probably 50,000 frozen, or 100, no, we'll say 20,000 frozen pizzas on one line a day. And that's the kind of, you have to test them for freeze and thaw. You have to, you know, put them all under rigorous tests. And these are people that work out of a lab, but not only have to go out of a lab, they go into the plant, and you have to know how the equipment in the plant works. So it's a lot of stuff going on there, and I'm proud to be a member of that. And I also graduated from Washburn Chef School, or Culinary School in Chicago. So
he's got a lot of experience. If there's anything you guys want to see or learn from Karl, leave it in the comments below so we can get to this video. I've told you already once, we've done 2 videos already. This is our 3rd, Karl and I together. So we did a knife sharpening video, which went well. I had a few audio problems in that video, but that was my fault. And then we did a chopping vegetables, like how to cut an onion, how to cut peppers, so on and so forth. And I got some really good feedback on that. People were interested and they learned things. So if there's something that you want to learn, because Karl's going to be starting his own channel. We're using this as a springboard to get people to kind of get to know him, and he's going to be starting his own channel. I'm excited for that. I'm going to help him with that. And I'm honored and privileged to have him here on the channel to share this knowledge with you guys. So if there's anything you want to learn while we're getting him going, because we're going to do a few more videos together, let us know down in the comment section, and we'll try to get as much or all of that stuff done before he gets started on his own. So
and if I don't know how to do something, I will find out how to do it.
Well, I can't imagine there's much that you don't know.
I have a couple hundred cookbooks at home, and I can watch your show and pick up some tips too. So
yeah, right.
Which is Mike's everyday barbecue.
So hey, thank you guys for being here. We appreciate the support. Can't tell you how much it means to us to have you guys watch, and I hope you learned something from this. Karl does too. Karl's very passionate about sharing his knowledge. Please like, comment, subscribe. Tell us if there's anything else you want to see, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Amen. Yeah.